Hey everybody, I'm Beverly Harzog, host of Your Personal Economy. Today, I'm going to show you 4 tricks to boost your credit score in a hurry. I have spent many years studying the credit score algorithm, and I can tell you exactly what works. And after you learn this first trick, you're going to be able to use that to keep your credit score really high. Trick number 1. You have something called a credit utilization ratio. Now, this is the amount of credit you've spent compared to the amount you have available. This isn't as complicated as it sounds. Let's say you've got a credit limit that's $1,000, just to make the math easy for me. And let's say you've got a $300 balance. Okay, that would be 300 divided by 1,000. That would be 30%. And that's your credit utilization ratio for that credit card. Now, if it's under 30%, it doesn't impact your score. But if you go higher than 30%, it can decrease your score, and you don't want that. So here's what you do. Let's say you have a balance of $400 on that $1,000 credit limit card. Make a payment of $100 and you get that to the threshold of 30%. Now, my golden rule is always pay your credit card bill in full by the due date every single month. Don't carry a balance or you pay interest. But I know things come up. I know things happen. Okay. And I get that. So when it does happen, do your best to keep that ratio under 30% and it will keep your score healthy. If you keep it under 10%, okay, it will really boost your score. Okay. That's how you boost your score up in a big hurry. Okay. So keep that in mind, that credit utilization ratio, and keep your balance on your credit card under 30%. All right, coming up with number 2, you're going to like this one, and it's a little bit sneaky, which is why I like it. Now, this next maneuver is a little bit tricky, and you're actually going to trick the credit bureaus. You call your credit card issuer and you ask when they report your payment history to the credit bureaus. Now, if you're a little bit of a rebel, you're going to like the way this plays out. So they give you the date. Let's say they said, on the 25th of every month. And it's different with every issuer. It could be different with different cards, different types of cards. So always ask, okay? And if they won't tell you, hang up, call back, ask again, okay? And if you do that enough times, they'll tell you. So what you do is you get that date and then you make a payment before that date. So let's say you've got that $400 balance on a $1,000 credit limit, and we need to get that below 300. So let's say you decide to make a $150 payment. You make that before the 25th, okay? Like maybe a week before, so they have time to post it. It's not instantaneously posted to your account. Okay, they do a verification process. Credit bureaus really do try hard to make information as accurate as possible. Mistakes do happen, of course, and that's why you need to check your credit reports now and then. But in this case, you want to make that payment about a week before they're going to report to the credit bureaus. And that way you get a lower balance reported, which gives you a lower credit utilization ratio, thus bumping up your score a little bit. Now, you can make 2 payments, okay? If you're in a situation where you've got cash flow issues and you think, okay, I can make a payment on the 10th, I can make a payment on the 17th. And that way, you decrease your balance by $150 before they report your balance to the bureau. See how that works? And since your balance will be a little below a 30% ratio, that might even help improve your score a little bit. And again, that 10%, keep it below that. Everybody I know who has an 800 credit score and above keeps it below 10%. Okay, number 3, coming right up. Let's get to number 3. You can ask for a credit limit increase on one of your current credit cards. This can be very effective. The reason is because of the utilization ratio. All right, we talked about that earlier. When you increase your available credit, and that means your credit limit goes up, and that's your available credit on that credit card, that means your ratio will go down. Okay. But if you use that extra limit that you have now, it won't have any effect on your score. In fact, it can lower your score if you get your ratio too high. So here's the rule. If you do ask for a credit limit increase, don't use that available credit. Don't charge anything. Don't go shopping with it. Just let it be and let it work its magic on your score. Okay. Now, let's say you're not in a position to get a credit limit increase for whatever reason. Do you need a new credit card? Because number four can also work like magic. And this is when you get a new credit card. And with that new credit card comes all that new available credit. It could be several $1,000s up to $20,000 or more, depending on where you are in your credit score journey. So if you do get a new credit card, I want you to research first and figure out what kind of card you need. Let's say you have an airline miles card, but you don't have a cashback card. So that's a perfect opportunity to get a rewards credit card that can also help you save money. And again, when it comes to credit cards, you cannot carry a balance on it. Okay, that's when you get into real trouble, not just because you're paying compound interest, but also because that ratio, your utilization ratio, gets very high. With compound interest, that balance can start doubling really fast. Don't go there. Okay. You end up paying interest on top of your interest. All right. So, any of these four things or some in combination can really help improve your score in a hurry. And honestly, the lower your score, the faster it's going to improve. That's just how it works because you've got more room for improvement. Now, I will give you two more bonus tricks to keep in mind, but they don't work all the time. Now, there are places that will report your rent to the credit bureaus, but the issue here is that it's often included in Vantage scores, but not in FICO 8, which is what lenders often use when it comes to credit cards. So that's not a sure thing, but it's something that you can look into. Another thing is Experian Boost, which I like very much. It includes your on-time payments with utilities, cell phones, things like that. But again, it doesn't work all the time. Your lender has to get your score from Experian for this to work, and you can request Experian Boost. And in many cases, it will increase your score. But you can't always count on the lender using Experian. It is free though. And so something to keep in mind if you do find out that you do need to get credit and your score just needs a little bit of a bump to put you in a better interest rate range. So there are four tricks plus a couple of bonus tricks to help you really boost your score. Thank you so much for joining me for this episode. We talked about credit score tricks that work. And if you've got any more questions about how to improve your score, or you've tried some things that worked and you want to share that, please leave a comment. I really will answer any questions you have. Coming up next, I'm going to talk about money mistakes that keep you broke, but it doesn't have to be that way. I'm going to tell you what those mistakes are and how you can avoid them. All right, I will see you there.